Alright guys, so now video number 2 for this chemistry and how to make the formulas for the ionic compound. You can see on my right side there's a periodic table which we discussed in the video number 1, and we have this polyatomic ions which we gonna use in exams. You should be expecting this thing in exam. I just made very precise, so you shouldn't feel any difficulty in memorizing, but this will be given to you, so and periodic table will be given to you, so you don't have any issue making the formulas. Just you need to understand the methodology. Number one, we just go for aluminium oxide. So as I mentioned, aluminium here is in group number 3. This is aluminium, here is aluminium, and you can see it's group number 3, so charge is +3. So what I would do, I write aluminium here, maybe a different color, Al, and because I know it's group number 3, I write 3 here. I'm not writing any charge here, but just writing the numbers. It's easy for you to understand. Oxygen, which become oxide when it becomes charge. So an oxygen you can see is over here, this side, and it's group number 6, so its charge should be 2 or -2. So I write oxygen over here, oxygen is here, and its charge should be equal to 2. Again, as I mentioned, I don't need negative and positive, just need numbers here. As I mentioned, we just do crisscross method, so it means 3 should be coming over here, 2 goes over here, and then in the end your answer should be equal to LAL2O3. So that should be the answer. You get it in the end. Now this is straightforward because both elements you easily found it in the periodic table and you made it easily. Now let's go for question number 2. So aluminium, again we just understand aluminium is Al, and this is 3 plus, or 3 is a charge. Sulfate, you cannot find this thing in the periodic table, but if you just go for the polyatomic ion, you can find sulfate is over here. So what I would do, I write sulfate, and its charge, sulfate is SO4, and its charge is equal to 2 minus, but I'm writing only numbers, so I don't worry about that thing. Now the next step, what I would do, again as I mentioned, crisscross method. Sorry, excuse me. So 3 will come over here and 2 comes over here. So what I would do here, it means my answer should be aluminium sulfate. As I mentioned that, of course, 2 is going towards aluminium side, so 2 is here, and we get somewhere here 3. Now this 3 should be here. Now the problem with so many students ask why we write bracket. See, if I leave this thing as it is, doesn't look right somehow. We need to separate out this 4 with 3, and that's now it's Al2SO4 3. We should write in this way, otherwise we cannot write numbers and we need to separate them out. So that's the right answer for aluminum sulfate. Let's go ammonium carbonate, and we can see ammonium is here, is NH4 plus. Plus means only 1, so I write only NH4, so NH4, and it's having 1, so I write 1 here, so just for understanding here. And next is carbonate. Carbonate, again, as you see, somewhere here, this is your carbonate, so I write CO3, which is CO3, and we have 2 on the top. Again, as usual, we are doing crisscross method. This 1 comes over here, 2 goes there, so we write the formula again. So NH4 is ammonium, and we have got CO3, which is carbonate. And let's talk about the numbers. This 2 goes here, so I write 2 here, and again you see 2 doesn't look nice here. If I write over here 1, I don't write 1, so it means carbonate should be without any number, so I need to separate out this ammonium with this 2. So now the formula is NH4 2CO3. So that's the way you need to work out the formulas with the polyatomic ions, and how we can separate out 2 and 4, what are numbers between there. Now this group, I see 5, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have used some transition metal which are on this patch somewhere. So if I use here, this patch I'm talking about here, and you can see that thing in this patch, you cannot understand the group number. So what happens in this case, if copper is given to you, you cannot find the copper is here, you cannot find the copper group number, so it means you don't know what's the charge. But what they do, they just mention the number here to make you understand what's the charge of copper. So copper I know is Cu, and because it's mentioned is 1 over there, so I write 1. I don't write 1, but 1 is there. And oxygen we know very well from the previous understanding, that is 2 because in group number 6. And now what we do, we can cross multiply, and what happens, my answer should be here Cu, and 2 goes on the other side. I write here Cu2O. That's the answer for copper 1 oxide. But I do copper 2 oxide, so again I know copper is Cu. Now this time the charge of copper, which you can see clearly, is given to you next to copper, which is 2. So I write 2 on the charge of copper here, and oxygen as it is O, and again O is 2. The good thing is that this, because similar number 2 we can cross out, and the answer should be CuO. That's copper 2 oxide. Now we go for question number 6, iron 3 oxide. Iron, basically again symbol of iron is Fe. We can see F is here. If I can show it to you here, this is Fe, but you cannot find the group number, but we know Fe is 3. 3 means the charge of Fe is 3 here. And oxygen as usual, we have got 2, so 2 on the top of oxygen over here. And if I want to write the last step, crisscross method, so it should be Fe2O3. The last question, which is easy, so iron, again the charge they mentioned is 2, so I write 2 here. Nitrate you can find over here, which is here, so you can see this is nitrate, so I write nitrate here, NO3. And of course, because charge is 1, because minus only means 1 is there, so again we use crisscross method, and Fe and NO3. And because this 1 comes over here, so we don't write 1, but the number with Fe is 2, so we write 2 here. Again we have to separate it out, and I mentioned that thing, we need to separate out by a bracket. So FeNO3 2. That's the formula. So hopefully you can practice as many questions you can practice. Of course, the booklet we gave it to you, that contains many question regarding that one, what we are practicing. In the A3 worksheet, that contains a lot of formulas. Practice to that one, that will make you perfect. Thank you.